Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel Seema's Academy. In today's class, we'll be learning Chapter 6 from your second PUC Business Studies, that is Staffing, Sibbandi Nirvahane. Now let us first understand what do we mean by staffing. Now, staffing can be defined as a managerial process of filling and keeping filled the various positions in the organization structures. Now we know that in the organization there are different positions. It may be the position of a manager, of an employee, of an executive, of supervisor. So there are different positions in the organization. Now we require people to work in the organization. As such, it is very important that you see to it that these positions are properly filled. ಸೊ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವಂತಹ ಹುದ್ದೆಗಳನ್ನ ಭರ್ತಿ ಮಾಡಿಸುವಂತಹ ಕೆಲಸ ಅಥವಾ ಪ್ರಕ್ರಿಯೆಯನ್ನ ನಾವೇನಂತ ಕರಿಬಹುದು, ಸ್ಟಾಫಿಂಗ್ ಅಥವಾ ಸಿಬ್ಬಂದಿ ನಿರ್ವಹಣೆ ಅಂತ ಕರಿಬಹುದು. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಸೆಡ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್. Staffing can be defined as a managerial process of filling and keeping filled the various positions in the organization structure. Now, why is staffing both a line as well as a staff activity? This is one 2-mark question. Staffing ಅನ್ನ ನಾವು ಲೈನ್ ಆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟಿ ಹಾಗೂ ಸ್ಟಾಫ್ ಆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟಿ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತೇವೆ. What is the reason? So reason behind this is staffing is both the function of management as well as it is a distinct functional area of management, just like human resource management. Line activity because it is the function of management, just like planning, organizing, staffing, directing, controlling. It comes under the functions of management. That is why it is a line organization. Then why it is called a staff activity? Because it is also a functional area of management. Just like human resource management, it is also a specialized activity. That is why we call staffing both as a line as well as a staff activity. Now coming to the staffing process. You have around 8 steps in the process of staffing. Have been said that staffing is the process of keeping filled the various positions in the organization. It becomes very important for the organization to firstly estimate the manpower requirement. So that is your first process, estimating the manpower requirement. And what do we mean by manpower? Manpower here refers to the human resources. That is, we are framing out, or we are chalking out how many people do we require in the organization. We are not confining it just to numbers like we require 20 employees or 30 employees. We are also telling the educational qualification, framing out the educational qualification plus the knowledge, the skill set that is required by a candidate to fill into a particular position. So that is estimating the manpower requirement. ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ನಮಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನರು ಬೇಕು, ಅದೇ ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ಹುದ್ದೆಗೆ ನಿರ್ದಿಷ್ಟ ಶೈಕ್ಷಣಿಕ ಅರ್ಹತೆಗಳು, ಕೌಶಲ್ಯಗಳು ಬೇಕಾಗಿರ್ತೇವಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ ಅದನ್ನ ಹೇಳುವಂಥದ್ದು, that is estimating the manpower requirements. Next process is recruitment, ನೇಮಕಾತಿ. Now recruitment, see, in the first process what we have done, we have estimated the manpower requirement that we require these many people to work in the organization. Alright, ಈಗ how do people come to know that there is vacancy in a particular organization? ಜನರಿಗೆ ಹೇಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರೂ ಒಂದು ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ತರ ವೇಕೆನ್ಸೀಸ್ ಅವೈಲೇಬಲ್ ಇದೆ, ನಾವು ಹೋಗಿ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? They come to know with the process of recruitment. So to tell you in a very textbook language, recruitment is the process of searching for a prospective candidate and stimulating them to apply for jobs in the organization. ಸಂಭಾವ್ಯ ಉದ್ಯೋಗಿಗಳನ್ನ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಪ್ರಾಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಕ್ಯಾಂಡಿಡೇಟ್ಸ್ ಗಳನ್ನ ಹುಡುಕುವಂತಹ ಪ್ರಕ್ರಿಯೆ ಮತ್ತು ಅವರನ್ನ ಅರ್ಜಿ ಸಲ್ಲಿಸಲಿಕ್ಕೆ, ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಗಳಿಗೆ ಅರ್ಜಿ ಸಲ್ಲಿಸಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಉತ್ತೇಜಿಸುವಂತಹ ಪ್ರಕ್ರಿಯೆಯನ್ನ ನಾವು ರಿಕ್ರೂಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೇವೆ. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಬಿ ಡನ್ ಥ್ರೂ ಎನಿ ಫಾರ್ಮ್. ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಪೇಪರ್ ಅಡ್ವರ್ಟೈಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಟೆಲಿವಿಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಡ್ವರ್ಟೈಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಕೊಡ್ಬೋದು. ಸೊ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಸೀನ್ ದೋಸ್ ಉದ್ಯೋಗ ಅವಕಾಶಗಳೆಲ್ಲ ಪೇಪರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತದೆ, ಜಾಬ್ ಅಪಾರ್ಚುನಿಟೀಸ್ ವಾಂಟೆಡ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಂಡು ಕ್ವಾಲಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. ದೆನ್ ದೇ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಗಿವ್ ಯು ದ ಅದರ್ ಡೀಟೇಲ್ಸ್, ಹೌ ಟು ಕಾಂಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ದ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್. ಸೊ ದೀಸ್ ಆಲ್ ಆರ್ ಕಮಿಂಗ್ ಅಂಡರ್ ದ recruitment process. Now thirdly is selection, ಆಯ್ಕೆ ಮಾಡುವಂಥದ್ದು. all those who have seen the recruitment or the advertisements of the organization will apply. ಅರ್ಜಿಯನ್ನ ಸಲ್ಲಿಸ್ತಾರೆ organizationಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಅಲ್ವಾ. Then there will be a prolonged process. Selection itself is a different concept. We are going to deal it in the further slides later. So selection ಅಲ್ಲಿ selection test ಬರುತ್ತೆ, interviews ಬರ್ತದೆ. So there are different concepts to be dealt with selection also. So the candidates who have applied for the jobs in the organization after the recruitment process has happened, so these candidates will be called for an interview, tests will be conducted, so detailed interview process will go on, and then those who are fit for the position will be given or provided with the letter of appointment. Their selection will be made. So that is happening under the process of selection. Coming to the next process, that is placement and orientation. Now, once the employee is selected, he would be placed in his job. ಆ ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯಿ ಯಾವ ಜಾಬ್ಗೆ ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದಾನೆ, ಯಾವ ಹುದ್ದೆಗೆ ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದಾನೆ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅವನನ್ನ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ಮಾಡುವಂಥದ್ದು. ಓಕೆ, ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್. ಅಂಡ್ ದೆನ್ ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಓರಿಯಂಟೇಷನ್? ಅಭಿಶಿಕ್ಷಣ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೇವೆ. ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಓರಿಯಂಟೇಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಪ್ರೋಸೆಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಮೇಕಿಂಗ್ ದ ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯಿ familiarizing with the new organization, because when the employee is getting into an organization, definitely that organization is new for him or her. Okay, so what the managers would be doing, they would conduct a orientation program where they would be describing about the organization, telling the new employee about the policies, the rules and regulations of the organization, so that he would feel and understand what is the working environment, and he would get familiar with the organization. So that is orientation. ಒಂದು ಹೊಸ ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯಿಗೆ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್ ಅನ್ನ, ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯನ್ನ ಪರಿಚಯ ಮಾಡಿಸಿಕೊಡುವಂತಹ ಪ್ರಕ್ರಿಯೆಯನ್ನ ನಾವು ಓರಿಯಂಟೇಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೇವೆ. So once all these things are over, then we go for training and development. Training is imparting the skills and knowledge to the employee to do his job perfectly. Okay, so ಅವನ ಕೆಲಸದಲ್ಲಿ ಅವನಿಗೆ ಅವನ ಕಾರ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಬೆಳವಣಿಗೆ ಆಗಬೇಕು, ಆಪರೇಟಿವ್ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ಸ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಬೇಕಾಗಿರುವಂತಹ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಅನ್ನ, ನಾಲೆಜ್ ಅನ್ನ ಪ್ರೊವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡುವಂಥದ್ದು ಇಸ್ ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್, ತರಬೇತಿ. Now what is development? So development is a different term. Development and training cannot be used interchangeably. ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್ ಏನು, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರುವಂತಹ ಕೆಲಸವನ್ನ ಇನ್ನೂ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬೇಕಾಗಿ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಏನೆಲ್ಲ ನಾಲೆಜ್ ಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಪ್ರೊವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡುವಂಥದ್ದು, ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್. ವೆರಸ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ದಟ್ ಇನ್ವಾಲ್ವ್ಸ್ ದ ಓವರ್ ಆಲ್ ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಕರಿಯರ್ ಆಫ್ ಎನ್ ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೇವೆ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್. ಹೆಚ್ಚಾಗಿ ಜನರು ಬಯಸುವಂತದ್ದು ಏನನ್ನ, ವೃತ್ತಿ ಜೀವನ ಅವಕಾಶವನ್ನ, ಓಕೆ, ಹೊರತು ಕೇವಲ ಕೆಲಸವನ್ನಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಆರ್ looking forward to the beautiful career. So development helps in building the career of an employee. So that is about training and development. Then performance appraisal. Now what is performance appraisal? See, once all these processes been done, you have estimated the requirement, and then you have done recruitment, then you have selected the employee, placement and orientation agide, then training and development is also given to the employee. Then what would you do? You would appraise the performance of the employees, which means you are evaluating the performance of the employees. It is very important for an organization to understand whether an employee is doing well in his work, or if there are any problems he is facing in his work, what are the reasons for that. Okay, so that is performance appraisal. ಉದ್ಯೋಗಿಗಳನ್ನ ಮೌಲ್ಯೀಕರಿಸುವಂಥದ್ದು, ಅವನ ಕಾರ್ಯನಿರ್ವಹಣೆಯನ್ನ ಮೌಲ್ಯೀಕರಿಸುವಂತಹ ಕೆಲಸವನ್ನ ಯಾವ್ದು ಮಾಡ್ತದೆ? ಪರ್ಫಾರ್ಮೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಪ್ರೈಸಲ್. ಸೊ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಟ್ರೈಂಗ್ ಟು ಫೈಂಡ್ ಔಟ್ ವೆದರ್ ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯಿ ಇಸ್ ಡೂಯಿಂಗ್ ಗುಡ್ ಇನ್ ಹಿಸ್ ಜಾಬ್ or whether he is performing well or not. Then comes promotion and career planning. Now based on the performance of the employees, promotion will be given to them. So next process is promotion and career planning. Promotion basically means giving an employee higher roles, higher responsibility, which is also accompanied with higher pay and good status. So that is promotion. And career planning, I told you that people not only focus on their work but they want a good career. So organization has to take measures to promote the employee to higher positions if the performance is good, definitely, and then also focus on planning the career of all the employees. Last process comes compensation. See, compensation, when you are taking the services of employees or the people for your organization, it is the duty of the organization to pay them compensation. The compensation will be in the form of salary, wages, the money, or any bonuses, any incentives that the organization is going to pay to the employee. ಸ್ಯಾಲರಿ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ವೇತನಗಳನ್ನ ಎಷ್ಟು ಕೊಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಗೆ ಡಿಸೈಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಡಿಪೆಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಅಪಾನ್ ದ nature of the work. So depending on the nature of the work, the organization will decide how much payment has to be given to the employee. So this is about compensation. ಪರಿಹಾರ ಅಥವಾ ವೇತನೆ, ಸಂಭಾವನೆಗಳನ್ನ ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯೀಸ್ ಗಳಿಗೆ, ಉದ್ಯೋಗಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಕೊಡುವಂಥದ್ದು. So you have 8 staffing process. Firstly comes estimating the manpower requirements, and then recruitment, selection, placement and orientation, training and development, performance appraisal, promotion and career planning, and then compensation. I hope the topic is clear. Now, one more thing to be noted, in the previous slide, the last point that we saw was remuneration. So, remuneration, ಪರಿಹಾರವನ್ನ fix ಮಾಡುವಾಗ for the employees, the company has two approaches to adopt. Okay, that is either time-based payments, ಕಾಲ ಆಧಾರಿತ ಪಾವತಿಯನ್ನ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು, ಅಥವಾ ಪರ್ಫಾರ್ಮೆನ್ಸ್ ಬೇಸ್ಡ್ ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್, ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಾರ್ಯನಿರ್ವಹಣೆ ಆಧಾರಿತ ಪಾವತಿಗಳನ್ನ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಬಿ ಆಸ್ಕ್ ಫಾರ್ 2 marks. ಟೈಮ್ ಬೇಸ್ಡ್ ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಫಾರ್ ಹೌ ಮಚ್ ಟೈಮ್ ದ ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯಿ ಇಸ್ ಬೀಯಿಂಗ್ ವರ್ಕಿಂಗ್, ಸೊ ಆ ಟೈಮ್ ನ ಮೇಲೆ, ನಿಗದಿತ ಅವಧಿಗೆ ಒಂದು ರೆಮ್ಯುನರೇಷನ್ ಅನ್ನ ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡುವಂಥದ್ದು. ವೆಲ್, ಪರ್ಫಾರ್ಮೆನ್ಸ್ ಬೇಸ್ಡ್ payments here means depending upon the performance, ಒಂದು ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ ಅಥವಾ ಒಂದು ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯಿಯ ಕಾರ್ಯನಿರ್ವಹಣೆ ಹೇಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅದರ ಮೇಲೆ ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕೊಡುವಂಥದ್ದು, ಡಿಸೈಡ್ ಮಾಡುವಂಥದ್ದು. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಪರ್ಫಾರ್ಮೆನ್ಸ್ ಬೇಸ್ಡ್ ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್. Recruitment we have already seen in the staffing process. It is also one of the process which comes under staffing. So what is recruitment? It refers to searching for the prospective candidates and stimulating them to apply for the jobs in an organization. Okay, it is the process. So it refers to the process of searching for the prospective candidates. ನಾವು ನೇಮಕಾತಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೇನು? ನೇಮಕಾತಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸಂಭಾವ್ಯ ಉದ್ಯೋಗಿಗಳನ್ನ ಹುಡುಕುವಂತ ಮತ್ತು ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯಲ್ಲಿನ ಉದ್ಯೋಗಗಳಿಗಾಗಿ ಅರ್ಜಿ ಸಲ್ಲಿಸಲು ಅವರನ್ನ ಉತ್ತೇಜಿಸುವಂತಹ ಪ್ರಕ್ರಿಯೆಯನ್ನ ನಾವು ನೇಮಕಾತಿ, ರಿಕ್ರೂಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತೇವೆ. Now coming to the sources of recruitment, ನೇಮಕಾತಿಯ ಮೂಲಗಳು. Basically we have two sources of recruitment, that is internal sources of recruitment and external sources of recruitment. ಆಂತರಿಕ ಮೂಲಗಳು ಮತ್ತು ಬಾಹ್ಯ ಮೂಲಗಳು. Now what do we mean by internal sources of recruitment? See, internal sources means here the organization is trying to fill up a vacant position with the help of the existing staffs itself within the organization. So we are not going to try to find any employees outside the organization. ನಮ್ಮ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವಂತ ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯೀಸ್ ಗಳನ್ನ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ನಾವು ವೇಕೆಂಟ್ ಪೊಸಿಷನ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಖಾಲಿ ಇರುವಂತಹ ಹುದ್ದೆಗಳನ್ನ ಫಿಲ್ ಮಾಡುವಂತದ್ದು, ಭರ್ತಿಗೊಳಿಸುವಂತದ್ದು, ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಇಂಟರ್ನಲ್ ಸೋರ್ಸಸ್ ಆಫ್ ರಿಕ್ರೂಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೇವೆ. ದೇರ್ ಆರ್ ಬೇಸಿಕ್ಲಿ 2 types of internal sources. What are those? Transfer and promotion. Now what do you mean by transfer? See, transfer is the shifting of an employee from one job to another or one department to another. It may be also one shift to another without any change in pay, responsibility or status. I repeat this word, without any change in pay, responsibility or status. So here we are merely shifting an employee, the horizontal movement of an employee from one job to another or one department to another, or it may be one shift to another, that is from morning shift to night shift. Okay, without any change in pay. So there is no change in the pay, the salary that the employee is going to receive, the responsibility or the status of an employee, all of these things are going to remain the same. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರ್ ವರ್ಗಾವಣೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯೀಸ್ ಗಳನ್ನ ನಾವ್ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ, ಶಿಫ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ. ವಿ ಆರ್ ಶಿಫ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ದೆಮ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಒನ್ ಜಾಬ್ ಟು ಅನದರ್, ಒಂದು ಕೆಲಸದಿಂದ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಕೆಲಸಕ್ಕೆ, ಅಥವಾ ಒಂದು ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್, ಒಂದು ಇಲಾಖೆಯಿಂದ ಇನ್ನೊಂದಕ್ಕೆ, ಅಥವಾ ಒಂದು ಪಾಳಿಯಿಂದ ಇನ್ನೊಂದಕ್ಕೆ. ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಒನ್ ಶಿಫ್ಟ್ ಟು ಅನದರ್. ಓಕೆ, ವಿದೌಟ್ ಎನಿ ಚೇಂಜ್, ಯಾವುದೇ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಯಾವ್ದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ? ಪೇ. ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯೀಸ್ಗೆ ಕೊಡುವಂತ ಸ್ಯಾಲರಿ ಸೇಮ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸಿಬಿಲಿಟಿ, ಅವರ ಜವಾಬ್ದಾರಿ ಸೇಮ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಹಾಗೆ ಅವರ ದರ್ಜೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ ಯಾವುದೇ ಬದಲಾವಣೆಯನ್ನ ಮಾಡಲಾಗುವುದಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರ್. Then what is promotion? See here promotion means shifting of an employee to higher position involving higher pay, responsibility and status. Now what is the difference between transfer and promotion? Here also it is shifting of an employee, here also it is a shifting of employee, but here there is no change in the pay, responsibility or status. But here we are shifting an employee to a higher position so that he will get higher pay, his responsibility will also be greater and his status will also increase. Okay, that is the basic difference between transfer and promotion. So in promotion, what do? We are shifting an employee from a lower position to a higher position. Here ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ, ಅವನಿಗೆ ಕೊಡುವಂತ ಸ್ಯಾಲರಿ, ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯಿಯ ಜವಾಬ್ದಾರಿಗಳು ಹಾಗೆ ಅವನ ದರ್ಜೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ನಾವು ಕಾಣಬಹುದು. To give you an example of transfer, suppose there is an employee A. Okay, and there are two departments in the organization, human resource department and there are marketing. There are various other departments also. This is for an example. We are assuming that there are two departments. All right. Now this employee A is being shifted from human resource department to marketing department. ಈ ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯಿ ಎ ಅನ್ನ ನಾವು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ, ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್ ರಿಸೋರ್ಸ್ ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇಂದ ತೆಗೆದು ನಾವು ಅವರನ್ನ ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟಿಂಗ್ ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಗೆ ಹಾಕಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಬಿ ಟರ್ಮ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಅ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರ್. ವೈ? ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ನೋ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಇನ್ ಪೇ, responsibility, status. It is mere movement of an employee from one department to another department. Whereas the same example of this employee A, let us assume that this employee A joined as a supervisor. Okay, as a supervisor avarondu organization anna join agirtare. After 5 to 10 years ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ, based on his performance he is being promoted as the manager of a particular department. Now this can be termed as promotion, since the supervisor who was in the lower level, lower position, was promoted to a higher position as a manager, and this results in increase in pay. ಅವರ ಸ್ಯಾಲರಿ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ತದೆ, ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸಿಬಿಲಿಟಿ, ಜವಾಬ್ದಾರಿಗಳು, ಹೊಣೆಗಾರಿಕೆಗಳು ಹೆಚ್ಚಾಗ್ತದೆ, ಹಾಗೆ ಅವರ ಸ್ಟೇಟಸ್, ದರ್ಜೆ ಕೂಡ increase ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. So that is called as promotion. I hope transfer and promotion is clear. So these two are coming under internal sources of recruitment. Now what are the merits of internal sources of recruitment? That is ಆಂತರಿಕ ನೇಮಕಾತಿಯ ಅನುಕೂಲಗಳು ಏನೆಲ್ಲ? What benefits does an organization get? First one, employees are motivated to improve their performance. That is employees ಗಳಿಗೆ ಅವರ ಕಾರ್ಯನಿರ್ವಹಣೆಯನ್ನ, ದಕ್ಷತೆಯನ್ನ ಸುಧಾರಿಸಲು ಇದು ಒಂದು ಪ್ರೇರಣೆಯಾಗಿ ವರ್ಕ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಸೊ ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ಮೋಟಿವೇಟೆಡ್ ಟು ಇಂಪ್ರೂವ್ ದೇರ್ ಪರ್ಫಾರ್ಮೆನ್ಸ್. ವೈ? ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಪರ್ಫಾರ್ಮೆನ್ಸ್ ತೋರಿಸಿದ್ರೆ, ಇಫ್ ಯು ಶೋ ಗುಡ್ ಪರ್ಫಾರ್ಮೆನ್ಸ್, ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ಶೋರ್ ದಟ್ ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಗೆಟಿಂಗ್ ಪ್ರಮೋಷನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ acting as a motivation for them to improve their performance. Secondly, simplifies the process of selection and placement. ಆಯ್ಕೆ ಮತ್ತು ಸ್ಥಳ ನಿಯೋಜನೆಯ ಪ್ರಕ್ರಿಯೆಗಳನ್ನ ಸರಳಗೊಳಿಸುತ್ತದೆ. So how does it simplifies the process of selection and placement? See, when there is a process of selection and placement, when you get people from outside, but in internal sources ನಾವೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೆ, ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವಂತ ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯೀಸ್ ಗಳನ್ನ ನಾವು ಹೈಯರ್ ಪೊಸಿಷನ್ಸ್ ಗೆ either ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ ಅಥವಾ ಪ್ರಮೋಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಫಿಲ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಅಪ್ ದ ವೇಕೆಂಟ್ ಪೊಸಿಷನ್ ಥ್ರೂ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರ್ ಆರ್ ಪ್ರಮೋಷನ್ ವಿತ್ ದ ಎಕ್ಸಿಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಟಾಫ್ ಇಟ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್. ಸೊ ದೆರ್ ಇಸ್ ನೋ ಸಚ್ ಬಿಗ್ ಪ್ರಾಸೆಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಥ್ರೂ ದ ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಪ್ರಾಸೆಸ್, ಇಂಟರ್ವ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡುವಂಥದ್ದು ಅಥವಾ ಬಿಫೋರ್ ದಟ್ ಅಡ್ವರ್ಟೈಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಗಳಿಗೆ ಸ್ಪೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡುವಂಥದ್ದು, ಅವಶ್ಯಕತೆ ಇರುವುದಿಲ್ಲ. So because of that, the process of selection and placement is much simplified here. Then transfer can be used as a tool for preparing employees for higher positions. So what is transfer? We have seen it in the previous slide. That is a movement of an employee from one job to another, one department to another, one shift to another, right? So what happens when an employee is being rotated to different jobs? He will be prepared for the higher positions. So organizationally ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು higher positionಗೆ vacancy arise ಆದಾಗ employees are ready to take up those higher positions. Next, fourth merit is transfer has the benefit of shifting the staffs from surplus department to a department where there is shortage of staffs. So transfer na mukantara, that is one of the source of internal source of recruitment. So transfer na mukantara navu ಏನು ಮಾಡಬಹುದು? Wherever there is surplus department, ಯಾವ ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಕ್ಸೆಸ್ ಅತ್ಯಧಿಕ ಸಿಬ್ಬಂದಿಗಳಿದ್ದಾರೋ ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ನಾವು ಆ ವರ್ಕರ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಆ ಕಾರ್ಯಪಡೆಯನ್ನ ಎಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಶಿಫ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು? ವೇರ್ ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ಶಾರ್ಟೇಜ್, ಕೊರತೆ ಇರುವಂತಹ ಇಲಾಖೆಗಳಿಗೆ ನಾವು ಕಾರ್ಯಪಡೆಯನ್ನ ಶಿಫ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. So giving you an example, suppose there is one department A, and there is department B. Okay, so here there are suppose 100 employees, 100 staffs working, and here there are only 25. Now what happened? There is a shortage in department B and A has surplus of staffs. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಅತ್ಯಧಿಕ ಸಿಬ್ಬಂದಿಗಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅತ್ಯಧಿಕ ಸ್ಟಾಫ್ಸ್ ಗಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಹಾಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಬ್ಬಂದಿಗಳ ಕೊರತೆ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ some of the staffs can be shifted to this department through the process of transfer. Right, so few of the staffs can be shifted from this surplus department to the department where there is shortage of staffs. So this is how transfer is going to benefit. So these four are the merits of internal sources of recruitment. Now let us see what are the demerits of internal sources of recruitment. ಆಂತರಿಕ ಮೂಲಗಳ ಮಿತಿಗಳು. So first one is no scope for fresh talent. Since in internal sources of recruitment, we are filling up the vacant position with whatever employees we have, the existing employees only. So hagagi we are not having any fresh talent. We are not getting anybody from outside. So there is no infusion of new blood into the organization. Okay, so we are not getting any fresh talent from outside. ಹೊಸ ರಕ್ತದ ಪ್ರವೇಶವನ್ನ ಅಡ್ಡಪಡಿಸುತ್ತದೆ. That is, ಹೊಸ ರಕ್ತ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹೊಸ ಪ್ರತಿಭೆಗಳನ್ನ ತಡೆಯುತ್ತದೆ. So that is why it is one of the demerit. Secondly, employees may become lethargic with time bound promotion. ಇಲ್ಲಿ lethargic ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ they may become lazy. Okay, not willing to work, not willing to give their best efforts. Why? Because of the time bound promotions. ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಬ್ಬ ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯಿಗೂ ಗೊತ್ತಿರುತ್ತೆ after 5 years or after 6 years every employee is going to be promoted. Then what is the need of giving much performance ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಸೊ ಆ ತರ ಆಟಿಟ್ಯೂಡ್ ಅನ್ನ ಬೆಳೆಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುವಂತಹ ಸಾಧ್ಯತೆಗಳು ಹೆಚ್ಚಾಗಿರ್ತದೆ when there is internal sources of recruitment. So employees may become lethargic, that is they may become lazy in giving their good performance because of the time bound promotions. Thirdly, the spirit of competition among employees is hampered. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯೀಸ್ ಗಳಲ್ಲಿರುವ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಪರ್ಧಾತ್ಮಕ ಮನೋಭಾವವನ್ನ ಇದು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತದೆ? ತಡೆಯುತ್ತದೆ ಅಥವಾ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅಡ್ಡಿ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. Now what is that spirit of competition? See, you know that every organization, suppose there is a, let us assume that on the manager na position vacant ಇದೆ. Now, there is not only one employee who is able to fill up this position of the manager. There are so many candidates. There might be different. There might be employee B, employee C, D, E, F, G. There might be many, 10, 15 members who are eligible to fill up this post of manager. Now, when we go for internal source of recruitment, how is the company going to decide who can fill up this position? They have their personal biases also, partiality ಗಳು ಕೂಡ ಇರಬಹುದು, and there are different other criteria to judge who is going to fill up a particular position, right? Now suppose if the organization decided that this person B is going to be the manager, higénaagtade, there is a feeling of jealousy in all of these employees C, D, E and A, because everybody were equally qualified and equally eligible to get to be promoted as a manager. Why only this person got? So there are chances that the spirit of competition between the employees can be hampered. Lastly, frequent transfer of the employees may reduce the productivity of the employees. ಆಗಿಂದಾಗ ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯೀಸ್ ಗಳನ್ನ ಒಂದು ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇಂದ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಗೆ ಅಥವಾ ಒಂದು ಶಿಫ್ಟ್ ಇಂದ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಶಿಫ್ಟ್ಗೆ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ, ಅವರ ಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಟಿವಿಟಿ ದಕ್ಷತೆಯನ್ನ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಮಾಡ್ತದೆ ಇದು. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಅನದರ್ ಡಿಮೆರಿಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಟರ್ನಲ್ ಸೋರ್ಸಸ್ ಆಫ್ ರಿಕ್ರೂಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್. I hope the concept of internal sources of recruitment is clear. Now coming to the external sources of recruitment. Now this is a question that can be asked for practical oriented question from this chapter. Anytime sources, external sources of recruitment and a practical oriented question ge keltare. As such, I don't feel the need of explaining it a lot, but I would just tell you the meanings of each and every term in a sentence or so. So ಬಾಹ್ಯ ಮೂಲಗಳು, ನೇಮಕಾತಿಯ ಬಾಹ್ಯ ಮೂಲಗಳು ಯಾವುದೆಲ್ಲ? when we are getting people from outside the organization. First one, direct recruitment, ನೇರ ನೇಮಕಾತಿ. Here what happens, the ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟರಿಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಅವರು ಒಂದು ಸೂಚನಾ ಫಲಕವನ್ನ, ಒಂದು ಬೋರ್ಡ್ ಅನ್ನ ಹಾಕಿರ್ತಾರೆ ಔಟ್ಸೈಡ್ ದ ಗೇಟ್, that we require these many people to the organization. ಮತ್ತೆ ಆ ಬೋರ್ಡ್ ಅನ್ನ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಜನರು ಬರ್ತಾರೆ. People will see that board, they will come to that factory or the organization wherever it is put, and they would get selected and start doing their work. That is direct recruitment. There is no cost involved in direct recruitment. ಯಾವುದೇ ವೆಚ್ಚ ಇನ್ವಾಲ್ವ್ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಅಡ್ವರ್ಟೈಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಕೊಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ. Second one is casual callers. ಸೊ ಕ್ಯಾಶುವಲ್ ಕಾಲರ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ಕ್ಯಾಶುವಲ್ ಕಾಲರ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ನೇರ ಸ್ವೀಕೃತ ಅರ್ಜಿಗಳು ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೇವೆ. ಸಿ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಬಿಗ್ ಕಂಪನೀಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ದೇ ಡು, ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ಸ್ ಅವರಿಗೆ ರಿಸೀವ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಸೊ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಡೂ ಕೀಪ್ ಕಾಲಿಂಗ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಆಸ್ಕ್ ವೆದರ್ ವೇಕೆನ್ಸಿ ಇಸ್ ದೇರ್ ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್, ಅಂಡ್ ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಟು ದಟ್ company. Unsolicited applications anta kariteve. So there are a lot of applications received by the companies. So whenever in future if the vacancy arises, this company is already having the database of all these applications which is being received from the candidates or applicants, and then that will be used to fill up the vacant positions. Thirdly, advertisement. Advertisement ಜಾಹೀರಾತುಗಳನ್ನು ಕೊಡೋದ್ರ ಮುಖಾಂತರ ನಾವು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟರ್ನಲ್ ಸೋರ್ಸಸ್ ಅನ್ನ vacancies ಅನ್ನ ಫಿಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಬಹುದು. just like you see in the slide, no, career opportunities or ಉದ್ಯೋಗ ಅವಕಾಶಗಳು, ಜಾಬ್ ಅಪರ್ಚುನಿಟೀಸ್ ಅಂತ ಪೇಪರ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆಡ್ ನೋಡ್ತಿರಲ್ವಾ, that is nothing but the advertisement given by the companies. Then coming to the employment exchanges, ಉದ್ಯೋಗ ವಿನಿಮಯ ಕೇಂದ್ರಗಳು ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿರ್ಬೋದು ನೀವು. ಸೊ ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಚೇಂಜಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ, they will have a lot of list of the candidates, prospective candidates. So people would go there seeking the jobs. ಮತ್ತೆ ಇವರು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, they will act as a link between the companies and the candidates. So companies ಗೆ ಯಾವ ತರದ ಕ್ಯಾಂಡಿಡೇಟ್ ಗಳು ಬೇಕಾಗ್ತಾರೆ, ಆ ತರದ ಕ್ಯಾಂಡಿಡೇಟ್ ಗಳನ್ನ ಇವರು ಪ್ರೊವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. So they will help the candidates to find a suitable job and the companies to find the suitable candidate. I'm going a little faster because since this concept would be asked for practical oriented question. Then placement agencies and management consultants. ನಾವು ನಿಯೋಜನಾ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಗಳು ಮತ್ತು ನಿರ್ವಹಣಾ ಸಲಹೆಗಾರರು ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೇವೆ ನಮ್ಮನ್ನು. They are also more or less like employment exchanges only. They would provide the suitable candidates to the companies whenever the vacancies arises in different companies. ನಂತರ ಕ್ಯಾಂಪಸ್ ರಿಕ್ರೂಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್. ಕ್ಯಾಂಪಸ್ ರಿಕ್ರೂಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿರ್ತೀರ ನೀವಲ್ವಾ, ಆವರಣ ನೇಮಕಾತಿ. ಎಜುಕೇಶನಲ್ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಷನ್ಗಳಿಗೆ the big companies would come, they would conduct an interview usually for those students who are there in the final year, ಮತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದಲೇ ಅವರನ್ನ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾರೆ. that is campus recruitment. ನಂತರ recommendations of employees. Here recommendation of employees, ಉದ್ಯೋಗಿಗಳ ಶಿಫಾರಸುಗಳು. Sometimes the organization will rely on the recommendation of the employees. If you are an employee of a particular company and there is a vacant position and you know that there is a friend of yours or there is a relative of yours who can fit into this position, you can recommend that person, your relative, to the organization. So ನಿಮ್ಮ ಶಿಫಾರಸಿನ ಮೇಲೆಗೆ ಅವರು ಒಂದು ವೇಕೆನ್ಸಿಯನ್ನ ಫಿಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾರೆ. ನೀವು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ ಅನ್ನ ಅಥವಾ ರಿಲೇಟಿವ್ ಅನ್ನ ರೆಫರ್ ಮಾಡುವಂಥದ್ದು to the company. That is recommendation. Then coming to the labor contractors, ಕಾರ್ಮಿಕ ಗುತ್ತಿಗೆದಾರರು. So under labor contractors, what happens is that whenever there is a need for unskilled laborers, they would contact the labor contractors. So labor contractors will have a huge link, and using that link they will fill in these vacancies. They will try to get a larger amount of laborers to fill into the unskilled positions basically. Then advertising and on television, ದೂರದರ್ಶನದಲ್ಲಿ ಜಾಹೀರಾತುಗಳನ್ನು ಕೊಡುವಂಥದ್ದು, ಟೆಲಿವಿಷನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಜಾಹೀರಾತುಗಳನ್ನು ಕೊಡುವಂಥದ್ದು. ಯು ಮೈಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ನೋಟಿಸ್ಡ್ ವೆನ್ ಎವರ್ ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ಅನ್ ಆಡ್ ರನ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಟೆಲಿವಿಷನ್, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ರೋಲಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ವಾಂಟೆಡ್ ಅಥವಾ ಬೇಕಾಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅನ್ನೋ ಒಂದು ರೋಲಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪಬ್ಲಿಷ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅಡ್ವರ್ಟೈಸಿಂಗ್ ಆನ್ ಟೆಲಿವಿಷನ್. ದೆನ್ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಒನ್ ಇಸ್ ವೆಬ್ ಪಬ್ಲಿಷಿಂಗ್. ಈ ವೆಬ್ ಪಬ್ಲಿಷಿಂಗ್, ಜಾಲತಾಣ ಪ್ರಕಟಣೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಮೀಡಿಯಾಗಳನ್ನ, ಸೋಷಿಯಲ್ ನೆಟ್ವರ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ಮೀಡಿಯಾಗಳನ್ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು, ಸೋಷಿಯಲ್ ಮೀಡಿಯಾಗಳನ್ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಅಡ್ವರ್ಟೈಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಗಳನ್ನ ಕೊಡುವಂಥದ್ದು, ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಯು ಗೆಟ್ ದ ಕ್ಯಾಂಡಿಡೇಟ್, ದ ರೈಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾಂಡಿಡೇಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ಯೋರ್ ಜಾಬ್. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಆಲ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟರ್ನಲ್ ಸೋರ್ಸಸ್ ಆಫ್ ರಿಕ್ರೂಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್. Now what are the merits of external sources? ಬಾಹ್ಯ ಮೂಲಗಳ ಅನುಕೂಲಗಳು ಏನೆಲ್ಲ? First one, qualified personnel. So a company can get qualified, trained and experienced personnel when it recruits from the external sources. So there is higher probability that a company attracts qualified personnel from outside. So ಅರ್ಹ ಸಿಬ್ಬಂದಿಗಳನ್ನ ಆಕರ್ಷಿಸುವಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಅನುಕೂಲವನ್ನ ಈ ಬಾಹ್ಯ ಮೂಲಗಳು ಹೊಂದಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಇನ್ನೊಂದು wider choice. See, wider choice means when we are going for external sources, definitely it means you are going to advertise. So when you give advertisement, whether in newspapers or any of the other media, there are a lot of people who go through that, and you would receive, that is the company would receive a lot of applications. Alva? So the company is going to select from those wider applications that it has been received. So there is a greater probability that a company gets a good candidate. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ವಿಶಾಲವಾದ ಆಯ್ಕೆಯ ಒಂದು ಉತ್ತಮ ಅವಕಾಶ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟರ್ನಲ್ ಸೋರ್ಸಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ ಕಾಣಬಹುದು. ಥರ್ಡ್ ಒನ್, ಫ್ರೆಶ್ ಟ್ಯಾಲೆಂಟ್. Now fresh talent comes into the organization because we are getting people from outside. So creative spirit, then the infusion of new blood, all these things are there in the external sources. ಹೊಸ ಪ್ರತಿಭೆಗೆ ಅವಕಾಶವನ್ನ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಡ್ತದೆ. Fourth one, competitive spirit. ಸ್ಪರ್ಧಾತ್ಮಕ ಸ್ಫೂರ್ತಿ. Now competitive spirit among whom? Those who are already there in the organization, they will be motivated to put further efforts so that they can compete with those people who have come from outside. Okay, so there is a competitive spirit in the organization. See, andre when the company goes for external sources, ಪ್ರಸ್ತುತ ಸಿಬ್ಬಂದಿಗಳು ಏನಿರ್ತಾರೆ, ದ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯೀಸ್, ದೇ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಕಂಪೀಟ್ ವಿತ್ ಔಟ್ಸೈಡರ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ಅವರು ಹೊರಗಿನವರೊಂದಿಗೆ ಸ್ಪರ್ಧಿಸಬೇಕಾಗ್ತದೆ. ಸೊ ವೆನ್ ದೇ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಕಂಪೀಟ್, ಡೆಫಿನೆಟ್ಲಿ ದೇ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಶೋ ಬೆಟರ್ ಪರ್ಫಾರ್ಮೆನ್ಸ್. ಅವರು ಉತ್ತಮ ಕಾರ್ಯನಿರ್ವಹಣೆಯನ್ನ ತೋರ್ಬೇಕಾಗ್ತದೆ. ಸೊ ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ಪುಟ್ ಫೋರ್ತ್ ದೇರ್ ಬೆಸ್ಟ್ ಎಫರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಟು ಕಂಪೀಟ್ ವಿತ್ ದ ಔಟ್ಸೈಡರ್ಸ್. So that leads to competitive spirit in the organization. So these are the merits of external sources. Now what are the demerits of external sources? ಬಾಹ್ಯ ಮೂಲಗಳ ಮಿತಿಗಳು ಏನೆಲ್ಲ? First one, there is dissatisfaction among existing staff. ಪ್ರಸ್ತುತ ಸಿಬ್ಬಂದಿಗಳೊಳಗೆ ಅತೃಪ್ತಿಯನ್ನ ಉಂಟು ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. Why there is dissatisfaction among the existing staff? See, let us assume there is one vacant position of a manager. ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜರಿಗೆ ಒಂದು ವೇಕೆನ್ಸಿ ಅರೈಸ್ ಆಗಿತ್ತು ಒಂದು ಕಂಪನಿಯಲ್ಲಿ. Okay. Now, there are two options available for the company. As I told, internal sources are also available, external sources are also available. ಈ ಪೊಸಿಷನ್ ಅನ್ನ ಫಿಲ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ let us assume there are already so many employees. A, B, C, D, already ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೀರಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಆದ ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯೀಸ್ ಗಳು ಸಾಕಷ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಕಂಪನಿಯಲ್ಲಿ. ಆದ್ರೂ if the company goes for external sources and bring one person called F who is highly experienced to fill this position of the manager, there will be dissatisfaction among all these employees. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಇವರ ಪ್ರಮೋಷನ್ ನ ಚಾನ್ಸಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟರ್ನಲ್ ಸೋರ್ಸಸ್ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತದೆ, ಕಡಿಮೆ ಮಾಡ್ತದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ, or it reduces the chances of promotion of the existing employees. So one demerit of external source is that it may cause dissatisfaction among the existing staff. Okay, now lengthy process to recruit from external sources is always a lengthy process, because that we are going to study in the next concept, that is selection process. ಆಯ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರಕ್ರಿಯೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕಿದ್ದೇವೆ, there is a lot of prolonged process that will go on. First advertisement ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕು, ನಂತರ ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ಸ್ ರಿಸೀವ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು, ನಂತರ ಅದನ್ನ ಸ್ಕ್ರೂಟಿನೈಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಕಂಡಕ್ಟ್ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್, ದೆನ್ ಕಾಲ್ ಫಾರ್ ಎನ್ ಇಂಟರ್ವ್ಯೂ, ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಗಳನ್ನ ಕರಿಬೇಕಾಗ್ತದೆ ಹೂ ಆರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಟೇಕ್ ಅಪ್ ದ ಇಂಟರ್ವ್ಯೂಸ್, then you have to select, then orientation program has to be done. So there are a lot of process involved. It is a lengthy and time consuming process. Third one, it is a costly process, ವೆಚ್ಚದಾಯಕ ಪ್ರಕ್ರಿಯೆ. A lot of cost or money goes into the external sources when you recruit from outside. Why? Because firstly, when you give advertisements in newspapers, even for a very small column to give an advertisements in newspaper, this much space also would cost you at least 500 to 1000 rupees in a reputed newspapers ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ ಒಂದು ಸಣ್ಣ ಕಾಲಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಅಡ್ವರ್ಟೈಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕಿದ್ರು ಕೂಡ at least 500 to 1000 rupees, even more ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. Similarly, when you take up the interview process, experts ಗಳನ್ನ ಕರಿಬೇಕಾಗ್ತದೆ, and when you call the experts, you have to pay them. Experts will not work for free, so you have to pay their fees also. So external sources is a costly process. So these are the demerits of external sources. Coming to the next concept, that is selection. Now what do we mean by selection? Selection is the process of identifying and choosing the best person out of the number of prospective candidates. When you have given an advertisement about a vacant position, the company is going to receive a lot of applications from the prospective candidates, right? What the company has to do next, it has to select one best candidate, identify and choose one best person out of the number of prospective candidates. Like you can see in the slide here, these all are the different candidates. Now who is being selected? This one person will be selected, right? So that is selection. ಆಯ್ಕೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೇನು? ಆಯ್ಕೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಉದ್ಯೋಗಕ್ಕೆ ಸಂಭಾವ್ಯ ಅಭ್ಯರ್ಥಿಗಳಲ್ಲಿ, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಪ್ರಾಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಕ್ಯಾಂಡಿಡೇಟ್ಸ್ ಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಯೋಗ್ಯ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗಳನ್ನ, ಬೆಸ್ಟ್ ಪರ್ಸನ್ ಅನ್ನ ಗುರುತಿಸುವ, ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫೈ ಮಾಡುವ ಮತ್ತು ಆರಿಸುವ ಪ್ರಕ್ರಿಯೆಯನ್ನ ನಾವು ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಷನ್, ಆಯ್ಕೆ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೇವೆ. A process of selection, ಆಯ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರಕ್ರಿಯೆ ಹೇಗಿರುತ್ತೆ? First one, preliminary screening. So in preliminary screening, we know that whenever there is one vacant position in the organization, when they give an advertisement, there are hundreds and thousands of applications that is going to rush into the organization. So organization is going to receive a lot of applications regarding one particular position. Now we cannot call, suppose if we receive 100 or 200 applications for one position, we cannot call all of these candidates to give an interview in the organization, because that involves a lot of cost for the company alva. So ella 200 300 candidate ಗಳನ್ನ ನಾವು ಇಂಟರ್ವ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. So preliminary screening ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, they are going to check who are fit candidates and unfit candidates. So ಈ ಸ್ಟೇಜ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ unfit candidates ಅನ್ನ we are going to eliminate. So preliminary screening involves the elimination of unfit candidates. ಅನರ್ಹ ಉದ್ಯೋಗ ಆಕಾಂಕ್ಷಿಗಳನ್ನ ನಾವು ಈ ಸ್ಟೇಜ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೈ ಬಿಡ್ತೇವೆ. Okay, so we are eliminating them. Then what is the second process? Selection test, conducting the selection test. All those who have gone through this preliminary screening ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಪೂರ್ವಭಾವಿ ಪರಿಶೀಲನೆ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೇವೆ. Now, whoever has gone through this preliminary screening or passed this preliminary screening, for those candidates, we conduct the selection test. And why the selection tests are being conducted? To know the knowledge, ability or capabilities of the candidate. ಆಯ್ಕೆ ಪರೀಕ್ಷೆಗಳನ್ನ ಯಾಕೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಒಂದು ಕ್ಯಾಂಡಿಡೇಟ್ ನ ಕೌಶಲ್ಯಗಳು ಏನಿವೆ, ಯೋಗ್ಯತೆ ಏನಿದೆ, ಬುದ್ಧಿವಂತಿಕೆ ಹೇಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಪರ್ಸನಾಲಿಟಿ ಹೇಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಅದನ್ನ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬೇಕಾಗಿ ನಾವು ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್, ಆಯ್ಕೆ ಪರೀಕ್ಷೆಗಳನ್ನ ಕಂಡಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ. ಸೊ ದೇರ್ ಆರ್ ಡಿಫರೆಂಟ್ ಟೈಪ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಒನ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಇಂಟೆಲಿಜೆನ್ಸ್ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್, ಬುದ್ಧಿವಂತಿಕೆಯ ಪರೀಕ್ಷೆ. As the name itself suggests, this is to check the IQ level, intelligence quotient, ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಯ ಬುದ್ಧಿವಂತಿಕೆಯ ಮಟ್ಟವನ್ನ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡುವಂಥದ್ದು ಇಂಟೆಲಿಜೆನ್ಸ್ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್. ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಒನ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಆಪ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಡ್ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್, ಯೋಗ್ಯತಾ ಪರೀಕ್ಷೆಗಳು ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೇವೆ ಇದನ್ನ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಆಪ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಡ್ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ why it is basically done is to find out how capable a candidate is to learn the new skills. ಹೊಸ ಕೌಶಲ್ಯಗಳನ್ನ ಕಲಿಯುವ ಸಾಮರ್ಥ್ಯ ಎಷ್ಟು ಇದೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಅಳೆಯಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬೇಕಾಗಿ ನಾವು ಆಪ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಡ್ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್, ಯೋಗ್ಯತಾ ಪರೀಕ್ಷೆಗಳನ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ. ದೆನ್ ಪರ್ಸನಾಲಿಟಿ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್. ಪರ್ಸನಾಲಿಟಿ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಯಾಕೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು? ಪರ್ಸನಾಲಿಟಿಯನ್ನ, ಒಂದು ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಯ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿತ್ವವನ್ನ ಪರೀಕ್ಷೆ ಮಾಡುವಂಥದ್ದು. ಸೊ that comes under personality test. Then is the trade test, ವೃತ್ತಿ ಪರೀಕ್ಷೆ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೇವೆ. See, trade test is to measure or to understand the already existing knowledge of the employee. ಸೊ ಅಸ್ತಿತ್ವದಲ್ಲಿರುವ ಕೌಶಲ್ಯಗಳನ್ನ ಅಳಿತವೆ ಯಾವುದು? ಟ್ರೇಡ್ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್. Lastly, we have interest test, ಆಸಕ್ತಿ ಪರೀಕ್ಷೆಗಳು. So every candidate has certain interest, so has certain field of interest. It may be a hobby or something, right? So ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಬ್ಬ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗೂ ಒಂದು ಉದ್ಯೋಗಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಇನ್ನೊಂದರಲ್ಲಿ ಹೆಚ್ಚಿನ ಆಸಕ್ತಿ ಇದ್ದೇ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಸೊ ಆ ಆಸಕ್ತಿಗಳನ್ನ ಮೆಜರ್ ಮಾಡುವಂಥದ್ದು ಅಥವಾ ಫೈಂಡ್ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡುವಂತ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಗಳಿಗೆ ನಾವು ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತೇವೆ. Now, once after preliminary screening is being done, selection tests are being conducted, then the next process will be to conduct an employment interview. ಉದ್ಯೋಗ ಸಂದರ್ಶನಗಳನ್ನ ಮಾಡುವಂಥದ್ದು. Now, what do we mean by interview? See, interview is a detailed, in-depth conversation with the candidate. Here, the interviewer is going to ask certain questions. ಸಂದರ್ಶನಕಾರನ ಪಾತ್ರ ಏನಾಗಿರ್ತದೆ? ಮಾಹಿತಿಯನ್ನ ಪಡೆಯುವುದು. Similarly, what will be the role of the candidate? To provide the information whatever is asked by the interviewer. ಅಭ್ಯರ್ಥಿಯ ಪಾತ್ರ ಏನಾಗಿರ್ತದೆ? ಮಾಹಿತಿಯನ್ನ ಒದಗಿಸುವಂಥದ್ದು. So that is called as interview. There are different types of interview: structured interview, unstructured interview, panel interview, stress interview, and many more. Now, as far as your examination is concerned, types of interviews are not being asked, so that is not included in your syllabus also, but you should be knowing what is an interview. ಅರ್ಜಿದಾರನ ಯೋಗ್ಯತೆಯನ್ನು ಮೌಲ್ಯಮಾಪನ ಮಾಡುವ ಒಂದು ಆಳವಾದ ಸಂಭಾಷಣೆ, ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಇಂಟರ್ವ್ಯೂ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತೇವೆ. Next, coming to reference and background checks. Now here, most of the employers, not necessarily all, but most of the reputed companies, what they do is they ask for certain references so that they can collect additional information about the candidate. So when you give the references, you can give the references either of the previous employer, or you can give references of your principal or any teachers where you have of the colleges that you have studied earlier. So you can give references of those people and their contact number so that the company or the employer can contact them and collect much detail about you. ಸೊ ಅರ್ಜಿದಾರರ ಹೆಚ್ಚುವರಿ ಮಾಹಿತಿ ಬೇಕಾಗಿದ್ರೆ ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯರ್ಸ್ ಗಳು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ? ರೆಫರೆನ್ಸಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಶಿಫಾರಸ್ಸು. ಓಕೆ, ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಗ್ರೌಂಡ್ ಚೆಕ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಹಿನ್ನೆಲೆ ಪರಿಶೀಲನೆ. So this can be done by the employer whenever they require additional information of the candidate. Then finally, selection decision is being taken with the suggestions of the interviewers, managers, whoever was in contact with the candidate. Everybody will sit together and then they will take a selection decision. ಆಯ್ಕೆ ನಿರ್ಧಾರವನ್ನ ತಗೊಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಯಾಕೆಂದ್ರೆ ಹೊಸ ಉದ್ಯೋಗಿಯ ಕಾರ್ಯನಿರ್ವಹಣೆಗೆ ಅವರು ಹೊಣೆ ಆಗಿರ್ತಾರೆ. That is why they have a detailed discussion and then finally arrive at one decision. Then comes medical examination. ವೈದ್ಯಕೀಯ ಪರೀಕ್ಷೆ. Now medical examination is done to find out whether that person is physically and mentally fit. ಅವನು ಹೆಲ್ದಿ ಆಗಿದ್ದಾನೋ ಇಲ್ವಾ ಅಂತ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಮೆಡಿಕಲ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮಿನೇಷನ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕಂಡಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. Only if the person is found to be fit, healthy, then only the next process, that is job offer, is going to be provided or given to the candidate. So next, coming to job offer, ಉದ್ಯೋಗ ನೀಡಿಕೆ ಅಥವಾ ನೇಮಕಾತಿ ಪತ್ರ. So job offer is given to the candidate if he passes through all of these previous procedure. ಎಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರೊಸೀಜರ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಪಾಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಅವನಿಗೆ ನಂತರ ಜಾಬ್ ಆಫರ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕೊಡಲಾಗುತ್ತದೆ. ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ಲಿ, ಕಾಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯ್ಮೆಂಟ್, ಉದ್ಯೋಗ ಒಪ್ಪಂದ. So contract of employment is basically a document, a typed document or an agreement between the employer, company and the employee, which is to be signed by the employee, which contains a lot of rules and regulations, the policies of the company and certain attested documents. So lastly, contract of employment will be done. Okay, so this is the selection process. So in the process of selection, we saw that the first process was preliminary screening, then comes selection test. We have different types of selection tests, and then employment interview. After that, reference and background checks. Next comes the selection decision. Then medical examination will be conducted, job offer is given, and finally contract of employment is made. So that was about the selection process. Now coming to training and development, ತರಬೇತಿ ಮತ್ತು ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿ. We have seen this under the process of staffing, isn't it? So what do we mean by training? Training is any process by which the aptitudes, skills and abilities of the employees to perform specific jobs are increased. So if the employee has to perform a particular job in the organization, he has to be trained with certain knowledge of how to do the work, right? To develop his skills, to develop his abilities. So that entire process is termed as training. ನಿರ್ದಿಷ್ಟ ಉದ್ಯೋಗಗಳನ್ನು ನಿರ್ವಹಿಸಲು ಉದ್ಯೋಗಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಬೇಕಾಗಿರುವಂತಹ ಯೋಗ್ಯತೆ, ಕೌಶಲ್ಯ ಮತ್ತು ಸಾಮರ್ಥ್ಯಗಳನ್ನು ಹೆಚ್ಚಿಸುವ ಯಾವುದೇ ಪ್ರಕ್ರಿಯೆಯನ್ನ ನಾವು ತರಬೇತಿ, ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತೇವೆ. Then what is development? I have told you while explaining you the staffing process also, training and development are different terms. Here training, we focus on one particular job or specific job. ಒಂದು ಜಾಬ್ ಗೆ ಬೇಕಾಗಿರುವಂತಹ ಕ್ವಾಲಿಟೀಸ್ ಗಳು ಅಥವಾ ಅಬಿಲಿಟೀಸ್ ಗಳು, ನಾಲೆಜ್ ಗಳನ್ನ ಪ್ರೊವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡುವಂಥದ್ದು. Then what is development? Here development, we focus on the growth of the employees, so all round development of the employee. So it refers to the learning opportunities designed to help the employees grow. So ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೇನು? ಸೊ ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಉದ್ಯೋಗಿಗಳ ಬೆಳವಣಿಗೆಗೆ ಸಹಾಯ ಮಾಡಲು ವಿನ್ಯಾಸಗೊಳಿಸಲಾದ ಕಲಿಕಾ ಅವಕಾಶಗಳು, ಇವುಗಳನ್ನ ನಾವು ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್, ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೇವೆ. ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್ ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್? ತರಬೇತಿ ಮತ್ತು ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿಗಿರುವಂತಹ ವ್ಯತ್ಯಾಸಗಳೇನು? ದಿಸ್ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ ಇಸ್ ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆಂಟ್ಲಿ ಆಸ್ಕ್ಡ್ ಫಾರ್ 2 marks. So what is training? See, training is the process of increasing knowledge and skills. ಒಂದು ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಯ ಜ್ಞಾನ ಮತ್ತು ಕೌಶಲ್ಯಗಳನ್ನ ಹೆಚ್ಚಿಸುವಂತ ಪ್ರಕ್ರಿಯೆಗೆ ನಾವು ತರಬೇತಿ, ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೇವೆ. Then what is development? Development is the process of learning and growth. ಕಲಿಯುವ ಮತ್ತು ಬೆಳೆಯುವ ಪ್ರಕ್ರಿಯೆಯನ್ನ ನಾವು ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್, ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೇವೆ. Another difference, training is a job oriented process. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಯಾವುದರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಫೋಕಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ? We focus about the job, ಕೆಲಸದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಾವು ಫೋಕಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ. Whereas in development we focus on the career. It is a career oriented process. ನಾವು ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಯ ವೃತ್ತಿ ಜೀವನವನ್ನ ಹೈಲೈಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಫೋಕಸ್ ಮಾಡುವಂತದ್ದು on the career. So this is the difference between training and development. Now what are the benefits of training? ತರಬೇತಿಯನ್ನ ಕೊಡೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಏನ್ ಬೆನಿಫಿಟ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ, ಏನ್ ಪ್ರಯೋಜನಗಳಾಗ್ತದೆ for the organization. So benefits of training to the organization. ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಗೆ ಏನ್ ಪ್ರಯೋಜನಗಳಾಗ್ತದೆ? First one, it enhances employees productivity. So when the employees are trained, they definitely know how to do the job. They will perform well, they will do well in their job. That definitely increases the productivity of the employees. And when the productivity of the employees are increased, definitely it will bring more benefits, more profits to the organization. So this is how training is going to benefit the organization. So employees ಅಥವಾ ಉದ್ಯೋಗಿಯ ಉತ್ಪಾದಕತೆಯನ್ನ ಹೆಚ್ಚಿಸುತ್ತದೆ ಯಾವುದು ತರಬೇತಿ ಅಥವಾ ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್. Secondly, it equips the future managers. A trained employee is ready to take up the higher position. Alva? A person who is trained in all the aspects of the organization, he can take up the future positions of a manager. So it helps in equipping the ಫ್ಯೂಚರ್ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜರ್ಸ್, ಭವಿಷ್ಯದ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥಾಪಕರನ್ನ ಸಜ್ಜುಗೊಳಿಸಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಇದು ಸಹಕಾರಿ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. Thirdly, it increases the employee morale and reduces absenteeism. First of all, absenteeism ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, and what is morale? See, morale is higher satisfaction of the employees. And what is absenteeism? Absenteeism is remaining absent from the work. That is called as absenteeism. When is the satisfaction level of employees very low, and when do the employees tend to remain absent from the companies? When they are not able to do their work properly. Correct? So when they don't know how to do their work properly, they will definitely remain absent from their work. Now when training is provided to the employees, that definitely increases the morale, the satisfaction of the employees will be more. Similarly, when they know how to do the jobs properly, they will enjoy doing their job and they will be present in the organization. The absenteeism would be reduced. ಸೊ ತರಬೇತಿ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯೀಸ್ಗಳ, ಉದ್ಯೋಗಿಗಳ ಮೊರೇಲನ್ನ, ಮನೋಸ್ಥೈರ್ಯವನ್ನ ಹೆಚ್ಚಿಸ್ತದೆ. ಹಾಗೆ ಅವರು ಆಬ್ಸೆಂಟ್ ಆಗೋದನ್ನ, ಪದೇ ಪದೇ ಗೈರು ಹಾಜರಿ ಆಗೋದನ್ನ ಕೂಡ ತಡೀತದೆ. ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ಲಿ, effective response to fast changing environment. We have studied in the third chapter, business environment, that environment is changing very rapidly. So in order to be intact with the environment, the changing environment, you have to be trained well. We require properly trained employees to effectively respond to that fast changing environment. So training helps in responding effectively to the fast changing environment. ವೇಗವಾಗಿ ಬದಲಾಗ್ತಿರುವಂತಹ ಪರಿಸ್ಥಿತಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಒಂದು ಪರಿಣಾಮಕಾರಿ ಪ್ರತಿಕ್ರಿಯೆಯನ್ನ ಪಡೆಯುವಲ್ಲಿ training ಸಹಾಯ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. So these are the benefits of training to the organization. So that was the benefits to the organization. ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಗೆ ಏನೆಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರಯೋಜನಗಳಾಗ್ತವೆ ಅದನ್ನ ನೋಡಿದ್ವಿ in the previous slide. Now what is the benefits to the employees? ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್ ಅನ್ನ ಪ್ರೊವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಉದ್ಯೋಗಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಏನ್ ಪ್ರಯೋಜನ ಆಗ್ತದೆ? First one, improved skills and knowledge leading to better career of the individual. So there is a development of career of the individuals. Why? Because the skills and knowledge of the employee is improved when they are provided with proper training. ತರಬೇತಿ ಮುಖಾಂತರ ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ, ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯೀಸ್ಗಳ ಜ್ಞಾನ ಮತ್ತು ಕೌಶಲ್ಯಗಳು ಹೆಚ್ಚಾಗ್ತದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಅವರ ವೃತ್ತಿ ಜೀವನಕ್ಕೆ ಕೂಡ, ಒಂದು ಉತ್ತಮ ವೃತ್ತಿ ಜೀವನಕ್ಕೆ ಇದು ಕಾರಣವಾಗ್ತದೆ. Secondly, increased performance. Their performance will also be increased, and when the performance is increased, the employees are always able to earn better. Okay, ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಗಳಿಸಲಿಕ್ಕೆ, ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಸಂಬಳವನ್ನ ಗಳಿಸಲಿಕ್ಕೆ, ಬೋನಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಅಥವಾ ಇನ್ಕ್ರಿಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಗಳನ್ನ ಪಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿಕ್ಕೆ ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ತದೆ. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ when you increase the performance, definitely pay also increases. And then thirdly, training makes employees more efficient to handle the machines. So when you are very well you have learnt about how to handle the machines, definitely the accidents that is going to happen in the companies will be less. ಅಪಘಾತಗಳು ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗ್ತವೆ. So it will help the employee to efficiently handle the machines in the organization. So that was about training. Now coming to the training methods, ತರಬೇತಿಯ ವಿಧಾನಗಳು, we have two types of training methods. Two categories basically, that is on the job methods and off the job methods. ಕಾರ್ಯನಿರತ ತರಬೇತಿ ಮತ್ತು ಕಾರ್ಯೇತರ ತರಬೇತಿ. What is on the job methods? When the training is provided to the employees while they are already working in the organization, within the organization itself, if the training is provided, we call it as on the job training methods. ಸೊ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರುವಾಗಲೇ ಅವರಿಗೆ ತರಬೇತಿಯನ್ನ ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್ ಅನ್ನ ಪ್ರೊವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಆನ್ ದ ಜಾಬ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ಸ್, ಕಾರ್ಯನಿರತ ವಿಧಾನಗಳು ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೇವೆ. ಸೊ ಅಂಡರ್ ಆನ್ ದ ಜಾಬ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ಸ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ 4 types, that is apprenticeship program, coaching, internship and job rotation. First one is apprenticeship program. So apprenticeship program, here whenever the jobs that require a lot of skills like electricians or plumbers or iron workers, in this case apprenticeship program or apprenticeship training is been provided. Here there is a master worker and the trainee is placed under this master worker so that he looks at the work of his master and then learns the skills how to do the job. So apprenticeship program, ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಪ್ರಶಿಕ್ಷಣಾರ್ಥ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಗಳು. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಈ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಷಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಪ್ಲಂಬರ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಇವರಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಕೌಶಲ್ಯಗಳು ಬೇಕಾಗ್ತದೆ. ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಥಿಯರಿ ಓದ್ಕೊಂಡು ಕಲ್ತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿಕ್ ಆಗುದಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಯು ರಿಕ್ವೈರ್ ಟು ಲುಕ್ ಎಟ್ person doing the job and then you can learn ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಒಂದು ಮಾಸ್ಟರ್ ವರ್ಕರ್ ಅಂತ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ, ಅವರ ಅಂಡರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಟ್ರೈನಿಯನ್ನ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ದಿಸ್ ಟ್ರೈನಿ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಡೂಯಿಂಗ್, ಟ್ರೈನಿ ವಿಲ್ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್, ಅವರು ಮಾಸ್ಟರ್ ವರ್ಕರ್ ಹೇಗೆ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅದನ್ನ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾರೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಅವರು ಕಲ್ತ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾರೆ. ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ apprenticeship program. Secondly, coaching, ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗತ ತರಬೇತಿ. See, coaching basically can be one-to-one training or guidance. Here one supervisor can act as a trainer. Okay, so what he does, he guides, instructs or gives all the information to the trainee so that he can do his job in a better way. So this trainer and trainee will sit together and they will decide on one particular goal, the goal that is to be reached by the trainee, and then the coach or the guide, he may be a supervisor, he will tell, guide and instruct the trainee how to achieve that particular goal. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕೋಚ್ ಯಾರು ಇರ್ತಾರೋ, ಮೇಲಾಧಿಕಾರಿ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು ಅವರು. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಕೋಚ್ ಅಂಡ್ ದ ಟ್ರೈನಿ ಇಬ್ರು ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಒಂದು ಗುರಿಯನ್ನ ನಿಗದಿಪಡಿಸಿಕೊಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಆ ಗುರಿಯನ್ನ ಹೇಗೆ ಅಚೀವ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಹೇಗೆ ಸಾಧಿಸಬೇಕು ಅದರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾರ್ಗಸೂಚಿಗಳನ್ನ ಹಾಕಿಕೊಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಅದರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಏನೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಹಿತಿಗಳು ಬೇಕಾಗ್ತದೆ, ಏನೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾರ್ಗದರ್ಶನಗಳು ಬೇಕಾಗ್ತದೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಕೋಚ್ ಪ್ರೊವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ ಟು ದ ಟ್ರೈನಿ. ಅಂಡ್ ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಹೌ ದ ಕೋಚಿಂಗ್ ವಿಲ್ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ. Then internship training. See, internship training, here you might have seen a lot of companies where there are certain students who work as interns in the companies, alva. So this is basically a tie-up between educational institution and companies. Why this is done, the main basic agenda behind internship training is that students get an insight of the real world. They get an insight of the practical knowledge. Okay, how the company is actually running in the real world. ಸೊ ಈ ಸ್ಥಾನಬದ್ಧ ಕಲಿಕಾ ತರಬೇತಿ ಏನಿದೆ ಇಂಟರ್ನ್ಶಿಪ್ ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್, ಇದೊಂದು ಶೈಕ್ಷಣಿಕ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಗಳು ಮತ್ತು ವ್ಯವಹಾರ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಗಳು, ಎಜುಕೇಶನಲ್ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಕಂಪನಿಗಳ ಮಧ್ಯೆ ಇರುವಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಜಂಟಿ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು ಇದನ್ನ. ಸೊ ಯಾರೆಲ್ಲ ಅಭ್ಯರ್ಥಿಗಳು ಆಯ್ಕೆ ಆಗಿರ್ತಾರೋ ಅವರನ್ನ ನಿಗದಿತ ಅವಧಿಯವರೆಗೆ ಒಂದು ಕಂಪನಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಅಧ್ಯಯನ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂತ ಆಸ್ ಇಂಟರ್ನ್ಸ್ ಅವರನ್ನ ಕಳಿಸಿಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. And what they would do, they would learn the practical knowledge, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಾಯೋಗಿಕ ಜ್ಞಾನವನ್ನ ಕೌಶಲ್ಯಗಳನ್ನ ಅವರು ಪಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾರೆ. That is internship training. Then last one, what is job rotation? See, job rotation is very simple. An employee is shifted or rotated from one job to another, the movement of an employee from one job to another so that he can gain all the skills of different jobs. So that he is not only confined to one particular job, but he gains all the knowledge of different jobs that is there in the organization. That is job rotation. ಕಾರ್ಯ ಆವರ್ತನ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೇವೆ ಜಾಬ್ ರೊಟೇಷನ್ ಅನ್ನ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯಿಯನ್ನ ಅಥವಾ ಟ್ರೈನಿಯನ್ನ ನಾವು ಒಂದು ಜಾಬ್ ಇಂದ, ಒಂದು ಕೆಲಸದಿಂದ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಕೆಲಸಕ್ಕೆ ಅಥವಾ ಒಂದು ಇಲಾಖೆ, ಒಂದು ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇಂದ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಗೆ ಶಿಫ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡುವಂಥದ್ದು, ಮೂವ್ ಮಾಡುವಂಥದ್ದು, ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ as ಜಾಬ್ ರೊಟೇಷನ್. ವೈ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಡೂಯಿಂಗ್ ಜಾಬ್ ರೊಟೇಷನ್? ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಹಿ ಲರ್ನ್ಸ್ ಆಲ್ ದ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಡಿಫರೆಂಟ್ ಜಾಬ್ಸ್ ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದೇರ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್. ಎಲ್ಲ ವಿಭಾಗಗಳ ವಿಶಾಲವಾದ ತಿಳುವಳಿಕೆಯನ್ನ ಅವನು ಪಡೆದುಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಉದ್ದೇಶವನ್ನ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಜಾಬ್ ರೊಟೇಷನ್ ಅನ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ. ಸೊ ದೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ದ training methods, on the job training methods. Now coming to the last slide of this chapter, that is off the job training methods, ಕಾರ್ಯೇತರ ತರಬೇತಿ ವಿಧಾನಗಳು. Now what do we mean by off the job training methods? Here the training is provided to the employees in a place which is away from the workplace. So training is not provided in the organization, but it is provided in a different place, that is away from the ವರ್ಕ್ ಸೊ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್ ಅನ್ನ ಪ್ರೊವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ನಾವು ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್ ಅನ್ನ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇರುವಂತದ್ದು, ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯಿಂದ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಎಲ್ಲಿಯಾದ್ರೂ ದೂರ ಸ್ಥಳದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್ ಅನ್ನ ಪ್ರೊವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಆಫ್ ದ ಜಾಬ್ ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ಸ್, ಕಾರ್ಯೇತರ ತರಬೇತಿ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೇವೆ. ದೇರ್ ಆರ್ ಡಿಫರೆಂಟ್ ಟೈಪ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಜಾಬ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ಸ್: ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ರೂಮ್ ಲೆಕ್ಚರ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಕಾನ್ಫರೆನ್ಸಸ್, ಫಿಲ್ಮ್ಸ್, ಕೇಸ್ ಸ್ಟಡಿ, ವೆಸ್ಟಿಬ್ಯೂಲ್ ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್. ಕಮಿಂಗ್ ಟು ದ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಒನ್, ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ರೂಮ್ ಲೆಕ್ಚರ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಕಾನ್ಫರೆನ್ಸಸ್. ಈ ತರಗತಿ ಉಪನ್ಯಾಸಗಳು ಅಥವಾ ಸಮ್ಮೇಳನಗಳು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ವೆನ್ ಈಸ್ ದಿಸ್ ಬೀಯಿಂಗ್ ಯೂಸ್ಡ್? ವೆನ್ ದ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್ ವಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ಟು ಕನ್ವೆ ಅ ಲಾಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಆರ್ ರೂಲ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ರೆಗ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ಸ್ to the employees. In that case, classroom lectures are being used. They can also make use of the audio visuals, that is the PPT presentations, to make the classroom lectures interesting. Otherwise it is very boring, right, to just listen to the instruction when the other person is talking. So instead of that, they can use audio visual so that the employees are interested to listen to the lectures. That is about classroom lectures. ಸೊ ಯಾವಾಗ ಒಂದು ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಗೆ ಮಾಹಿತಿಗಳನ್ನ, ನಿರ್ದಿಷ್ಟ ಮಾಹಿತಿಗಳನ್ನ ಅಥವಾ ನಿಯಮಗಳನ್ನ ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯೀಸ್ಗಳಿಗೆ ತಿಳಿಸಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಇರುತ್ತೋ, ಅವರು ಆವಾಗ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ರೂಮ್ ಲೆಕ್ಚರ್ಸ್, ಈ ತರಗತಿ ಉಪನ್ಯಾಸಗಳ ಮೂಲಕ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಒನ್ ಇಸ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ದ ಫಿಲ್ಮ್ಸ್, ಚಲನಚಿತ್ರಗಳು. ಸೊ ಫಿಲ್ಮ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಯೂಸ್ಡ್ ವೆನೆವರ್ the organization wants to teach a particular skill to the employees. So ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ಕೌಶಲ್ಯಗಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾಹಿತಿಯನ್ನು ಕೊಡಬೇಕಿದ್ರೆ films act as a very good source of the job methods. Thirdly, case study, ಪ್ರಕರಣ ಅಧ್ಯಯನ. So under case study, the trainers, they would provide the trainees or the employees with the real life situations that had already happened in the organization, the situations which had already been faced by the managers, and that will be presented in the form of case to the employees. The employees are required to study that case, and then they are asked to analyze the case and give their own solutions. So this will also increase the decision making capability and problem solving capability in the employees. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇಸ್ ಸ್ಟಡಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಕರಣವನ್ನ ಅಥವಾ ಒಂದು ಕೇಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯೀಸ್ ಗಳಿಗೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಈ ಕೇಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಅವ್ರು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು, ಅವ್ರು ಇದನ್ನ ಅಧ್ಯಯನ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು, ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು, ವಿಶ್ಲೇಷಿಸಬೇಕು, ಹಾಗೆ ಪರಿಹಾರಗಳನ್ನ ಅವರು ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಪರಿಹಾರಗಳನ್ನ ಅವರು ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿಪಡಿಸಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಈ ತರ ಕೇಸ್ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಅವರದ್ದು ನಿರ್ಧಾರ ತಗೊಳ್ಳುವಂತಹ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟಿ ಏನಿದೆ ಅದು ಕೂಡ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ, ಹಾಗೆ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಸಾಲ್ವಿಂಗ್ ಎಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಕೂಡ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಕೇಸ್ ಸ್ಟಡಿ. ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ಲಿ, ವೆಸ್ಟಿಬ್ಯೂಲ್ ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್. ಸೊ ವೆಸ್ಟಿಬ್ಯೂಲ್ ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್ is a type of training where the same workplace environment is recreated in another place. Like the dummy work environment is created with the same equipments, the same setup which is there in the organization in one more place away from the organization, and the employees are asked to perform their work, do their work there, so that they get a practical knowledge of doing the real work. ಇದನ್ನ ನಾವು ವೆಸ್ಟಿಬ್ಯೂಲ್ ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್. ಸೊ ವೆಸ್ಟಿಬ್ಯೂಲ್ ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ, ಒಂದು ಡಮಿ ವರ್ಕ್ ಎನ್ವೈರನ್ಮೆಂಟ್, ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿಯ ಉಪಕರಣಗಳನ್ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೋ, ಯಾವ ರೀತಿಯ ಸೆಟಪ್ ಇರತ್ತ, ಸೇಮ್ ಟೈಪ್ ಆಫ್ ಸೆಟಪ್ ಇಸ್ ಬೀಯಿಂಗ್ ರೀಕ್ರಿಯೇಟೆಡ್. ಅಂಥದ್ದೇ ಒಂದು ವರ್ಕ್ ಎನ್ವೈರನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನ, ಸೊ ಅಂಥದ್ದೇ ನಿಜವಾದ ಕೆಲಸದ ವಾತಾವರಣಗಳನ್ನ ತರಗತಿ ಕೊಠಡಿಗಳಲ್ಲೇ ಸೃಷ್ಟಿಸಲಾಗ್ತದೆ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಉದ್ಯೋಗಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಅಂಥದೇ ಸಾಮಗ್ರಿಗಳು, ಕಡತಗಳು ಮತ್ತು ಸಲಕರಣೆಗಳನ್ನ ಬಳಸಿಕೊಂಡು ಹೇಗೆ ಅವರು ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್ ಅನ್ನ ಪ್ರೊವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಎಸ್ ವೆಸ್ಟಿಬ್ಯೂಲ್ ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್, ಮೊಗಸಾಲೆ ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೇವೆ ಇದನ್ನ. So these are about the off-the-job training methods: classroom lectures or conference, films, case study, and vestibule training. So hereby we come to the end of your chapter. Now concepts from your chapter are all over. Now let us look into the practical oriented questions. So ಈ chapter ಇಂದ staffing chapter ಇಂದ ನಿಮಗೆ ಕೇಳುವಂತ practical question is list out any 10 external sources of recruitment. We have already seen in the previous slides ಅಲ್ವಾ, external sources of recruitment. You can write any 10. Direct recruitment, casual callers, advertisement, employment exchanges, placement agencies and management consultants, campus recruitment, recommendations of employees, labor contractors, advertising on television, web publishing. So here I have listed out only 10. There are some more sources also, but for the practical oriented question, it's sufficient if you write 10 because it's asked only to write 10. Explanation kodo agate illa practical oriented questions galige. You can only write the side points. Now we shall revise the question bank question. We'll quickly revise all the questions once. The 1 mark questions. What is staffing? Please refer the first slide for it. I have given the meaning. Then name 1 internal sources of recruitment. Internal sources being asked, you can write either transfer or promotion. Thirdly, name any 1 external sources of recruitment. External source of recruitment, in the previous slide itself I had shown 10. You can write any one, either advertisement or advertising on television, campus recruitment, anything. Fourth one, mention the first step in selection process. So look at the question, it is the first step in selection process. So your answer would be preliminary screening or preliminary interview. Okay, that is the first step. Do not write the first step of the staffing process. It is the step in selection process. Your answer is preliminary interview. Fifth one, state any one type of selection test. So I have displayed four selection test anta helidena, adralli yavadadru ondanna baribodu. You can write interest test, trade test, aptitude test, anything. Then what is meant by interview in selection process? I have told you that interview is a detailed in-depth conversation with the candidate. Then what is training? What is training is also been displayed in the slide. Please check that. Then what is the meaning of development in staffing process? We have discussed this one also. Name on-the-job training method given to plumbers, electricians or iron workers. I have told this. And what is the answer? Answer is apprenticeship training. Then 10th question. State the off-the-job training method given to employees before handling sophisticated machinery and equipment. So the answer for this is vestibule training, where a dummy work environment is created and they are being given training there so that they are able to handle the sophisticated machinery and equipment. Answer is vestibule training for the 10th question. 11th one, which one of the following is not a function of staffing? ಈ ಕೆಳಗಿನದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ staffing ನ function ಯಾವುದಲ್ಲ? So which is not the function? Recruitment, training, compensation, directing. So which one is not coming under the function of staffing? Recruitment comes, yes. Training comes, yes. Compensation is also included. Directing is not the function of staffing. Whereas directing is the function of management, yes, but it is not the function of staffing. 12th question, which one of the following is an internal source of recruitment? We already know internal sources. ಆಂತರಿಕ ಮೂಲಗಳು, ನೇಮಕಾತಿ ಆಂತರಿಕ ಮೂಲಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವಂತದ್ದು ಎರಡು, promotion and transfer. So apart from that, everything are external here. So if you see any one of those, that is the answer. So what are the options given to us? A, transfer; B, employment exchange; C, advertisement; D, campus recruitment. So answer is A, transfer is an internal source of recruitment. Apart from this, all other three are external sources. 13th one, promotion of employees results in dash. Employees ಗಳ promotion ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬಡ್ತಿ ಆಗುದು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ it increases what? It increases in pay, responsibility. A, increase in pay; B, increase in responsibility; C, increase in job satisfaction; D, all the above. So promotion ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ pay increase ಆಗ್ತದೆ, ಹೌದು. Responsibility increase ಆಗ್ತದೆ, yes. Job satisfaction definitely increase ಆಗ್ತದೆ. So your answer would be all the above. Your answer is this. It increases the pay, responsibility as well as job satisfaction. 14th question, which of the following is on the job method of training? On the job method of training ಯಾವುದು ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ? ಕಾರ್ಯೇತರ ತರಬೇತಿಯ ವಿಧಾನ. So here you have case study, coaching, vestibule training, computer modeling. So which is on the job training method here? Coaching. We have seen the 4 methods of on-the-job training, that is apprenticeship program, coaching, job rotation, and internship training. So the answer for example of on-the-job training method is coaching gear. Rest case study, vestibule training, computer modeling are off-the-job training methods. So these were the 1 mark. Now coming to the section B, part B, 2 marks question. Why is staffing both a line as well as staff activity? This we have discussed in the earlier part of the video. So I think in the second slide probably we have seen why it is a staff as well as line activity. Next question, write any 2 factors which influence the way of recruitment, selection and training of employees in any organization. Now this question is a homework for you all. So whoever finds the answer, please type it in the comment. What is the answer for this question? Next, what is recruitment? We have seen it. Recruitment is the process of searching for the prospective candidates and stimulating them to apply for the jobs in an organization. Give the meaning of selection also we have seen, that is selection of the best candidate out of the prospective candidates. What is placement concept is done. What is orientation also is done. Give the meaning of transfer as an internal source of recruitment. Also we have discussed. State any 2 types of direct financial payments which an organization can adopt to pay its employees. Answer is time-based payments and performance-based payments. This has also been discussed in the previous slides. State any 2 differences between training and development. Training ಮತ್ತು development ಗೆ ಇರುವಂತಹ ವ್ಯತ್ಯಾಸಗಳನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ನೋಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ನಂತರ what is job rotation also I have told you. This comes under the methods of training, on the job training methods. Then state any 2 merits of external sources of recruitment. ಬಾಹ್ಯ ನೇಮಕಾತಿಯ ಯಾವುದಾದರೂ 2 ಪ್ರಯೋಜನಗಳನ್ನು ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. So you have to write any 2 merits here. Then write any 2 demerits of external sources of recruitment. This has also been discussed. Mention any 2 merits of internal sources of recruitment is also done. Mention any 2 demerits of internal sources of recruitment is also completed. Now one question I have given you for the homework, that is 16th one. Please find the answer and type it in the comment. Now coming to the part C, 4 mark question. Explain any 4 types of tests used for selection of employees. So ಆಯ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರಕ್ರಿಯೆ, selection process ಅಲ್ಲಿ we have learned the selection tests. Under that I have told you 4 tests were there: intelligence test, aptitude test, trade test, interest test. So you have to write these 4 tests and explain it at least 3 to 4 sentences. Then explain the internal sources of recruitment. So you have only 2 internal sources of recruitment, promotion and transfer. We have seen it in the previous slides. So you write promotion, what is the meaning? You write transfer and write the meaning. Then also write the merits and demerits of internal sources. Otherwise your answer would become very short. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ internal sources of recruitment ಕೇಳುವಾಗ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರ್ ಮತ್ತು ಪ್ರಮೋಷನ್ ನ ಮೀನಿಂಗ್ ಅನ್ನ ನೀಟಾಗಿ ಬರೆದು ನಂತರ ಮೆರಿಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಡಿಮೆರಿಟ್ಸ್ ಅಟ್ ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ 2 or 3 ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಬರೀರಿ. Okay. Now, how does training and development of employees benefit the organization? Be very careful with the question. See, it is how it benefits the organization. We have seen 2 sections: benefit to the organization and benefit to the employees. ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಗೆ ತರಬೇತಿಯ ಪ್ರಯೋಜನಗಳು ಮತ್ತು ಉದ್ಯೋಗಿಗಳಿಗೆ ತರಬೇತಿಯ ಪ್ರಯೋಜನಗಳು ಏನಾಗ್ತವೆ, 2 sections ಅನ್ನ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ. This is the question regarding benefit to the organizations. So you have to write those 4 points which are given under the benefit to the organizations only. Write each and every point and explain it at least 3 to 4 sentences. Now that was about the 4 mark questions. Now this question bank is the question bank which is developed by the Dakshina Kannada Pre-University board, and I am discussing the same questions. Okay. So this totally belongs to the DKPU. Part D, 8 mark questions. Explain the stages involved in staffing process. So in the very first part of the video we have seen the staffing process and certain stages, process involved in the staffing process. Whenever you write 8 marks questions, it is always suggested to write an introduction, a very small introduction, then write whatever is the concept of the question and then give a small conclusion. ಆಲ್ರೈಟ್. ಸೊ 8 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ ಎಸ್ಸೆ ಟೈಪ್ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ಅಟೆಂಪ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ಒಂದು ಪೀಠಿಕೆಯನ್ನ ಬರೀಬೇಕು. ಸ್ಟಾಫಿಂಗ್ ಮೀನಿಂಗ್ ಅನ್ನ ಬರ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ನಂತರ ಸ್ಟೇಜಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಸ್ಟಾಫಿಂಗ್ ಪ್ರಾಸೆಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ನೀಟ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗಿ. ದೆನ್ ಅಟ್ ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಗಿವ್ ಒನ್ ಕನ್ಕ್ಲೂಷನ್. The next question, describe the steps involved in selection process. Steps involved in selection process, also we have seen this question. Under selection process we have preliminary, screening, and then selection test, employment interview, all of those. So write all of the steps and explain it well. For the introduction you can write the meaning of selection here. Next question, explain 4 methods of on-the-job training and 4 methods of off-the-job training. In the last part of the video we have seen there are 4 on-the-job training methods and 4 off-the-job training methods. First training in a meaning barkoli, nantra on-the-job methods anna specify ಮಾಡಿ, then give the meaning also, write the explanation for each and every term. Similarly the same explanation goes for off-the-job training also. Write off-the-job training. What do you mean by off-the-job training? Write in a sentence or so, and then write the 4 methods and explain it. Last question, explain the benefits of training and development to the organization and to the employees. So here both the sections are asked. Organization ge training na benefit, hage employees galige training na benefit. So first you write the benefit to the organization, 4 points, explain it neatly, and then go to the benefits to the employees, write the points and explain it neatly. So this is how we are going to attempt the 8 marks question. Okay, so the lengthiest chapter that you find in your second PC business studies would be organizing, staffing, and directing. Controlling well is a small chapter, and then financial management is also not that big chapter. So you can expect a lot of questions from these 3 chapters, especially this year, because the syllabus is also cut down. So organizing, staffing, directing, ಈ 3 chapter ಇಂದ maximum questions ಅನ್ನ ನೀವು expect ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. So do not skip these chapters at any cost. Okay, practical questions ಅನ್ನು already discuss ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ. practical questions ಯಾವುದು ಕೇಳಬಹುದು? external sources of recruitment. So adರಲ್ಲಿ any 10 external sources of recruitment you have to write, no need of explanation. So this is all about the staffing chapter. If you like the video, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel CMAS Academy, and please let me know in the comment box if you want more such videos on business studies. Thank you.